All right. Hi, everybody. It is Friday. I love hearing those birds in the background, I swear. Welcome to this episode of Leaders Talk Communications. I am really stoked to be talking this morning with John Riley III. Some legacy behind that name, I think. He's the Chief of Emerging Tech and co-founder of IMPACTIFI. Did I say that right?
Yes, yes, you did.
Okay. IMPACTIFI helps business owners across the globe navigate doing business in the US. And that looks like structure, partnerships, funding, all the things. We'll get into that in a bit. I met John late last year at an AI event at Career Source Broward that was hosted by the amazing Marvin DeJean. I think you were in my
Yes, it
workshop.
was.
You were in my separate workshop. We were gathering insights from business owners about how they use AI, whether they use AI. And John, I remember you just being you were one of the more advanced folks in the room talking about how you use AI. A big part of your work, so welcome
Thank you.
officially.
Thank you for asking me.
A big part of your work is communication, I'm sure. And Leaders Talk Communications is all about understanding how executives manage communications at their business or nonprofit, because I also talk to nonprofit leaders.
Yeah,
It can be lonely at the top, so it's nice to hear and gain insights from other leaders about how they're navigating the way they communicate with all the different stakeholders that are important to them. I also like to host these sessions for other communications professionals to hear from leaders, sort of what's on their mind about the work, about communicating, so that we can serve them better and support them better. So let's just jump right in. Tell me about the work you do at Impactify, John, and importantly, what inspires you personally about what you do? What inspires you the most about the work you do?
sure. So I know you kind of touched on it. So Impactify. So what we do is we help international companies that want to come to primarily the South Florida ecosystem, right? Whether it's Broward County, whether it's Miami-Dade, whether it's Palm Beach, and help them navigate that, right? It's a challenge for companies that are successful in their own company, in their own countries, but want to come here and scale. And to do that, you really have to understand what that ecosystem is like. Where do I go? What makes sense? Should I be in Miami? Should I be in Broward? Should I be in Palm Beach? Who do I talk
Mm,
to? What groups I need to be a part of? So we help them navigate that. We do that with also with funding through grants and VC networks that we have, but also multilateral funding, which is another way of getting funding as well. My job as chief emerging tech is those companies that have technology to validate if that data or technology is a fit for this market. So when people say, "Hey,
interesting.
but when people say, "Hey, I have AI," I go, "Well, that's great. Everybody has AI. Why is yours so different? What problem are you solving that's different from everybody else that's already in this ecosystem in South Florida?" And once we kind of
Yeah.
understand that, we go, okay, that's great. And then I go look at, okay, what other emerging tech can we add to that, right? So if you have AI, with
Mm,
blockchain, and now with FAU buying the first quantum computer in South Florida, is that going to be quantum, right? So really
yeah.
understanding where they can align and partner with, and aligning with other partners we have that can provide value to them.
All right. Awesome. And what inspires you the most about doing that work?
It's for me, it's really it's helping, right? It's kind of that being of service, right? How can I help be a service that make it easier for you to navigate this, right? To not waste your money. And that's what happens with a lot of companies that come here. They'll go and they'll get, say, a business development company of 10 people calling every week. Oh, get me an appointment, get me an appointment. But really that
Mm,
appointment at the end of the day is 15, 30 minutes with somebody that does not know them, right? And they have to try and hard sell them in that whatever that meeting is. But with
yeah.
us, with my team, it's working through our relationships that we've established and being able to walk them through the door of somebody that we know trust us to bring them quality companies. So I
Right.
love the part, and it's really building the relationships. I love
Yeah.
internationally all the time. I always reach out to people in different countries to understand what they're doing with their technology. For me, getting different perspectives, right, from somebody from another country is always eye opening. Wow, I didn't know about that. And I wouldn't have known about that if I hadn't talked to you or reached out to you. And kind of having that feeling when companies come here is making them feel comfortable of, okay, you're taking care of me. You're making it easier for me to get adapted to where I'm going.
Yeah, how do you I'm curious about that. How do you create those connections with folks in other countries to gather those insights on a regular
It's
basis?
it's funny you say that. So literally 2017 when I got into blockchain technology, it was very, very new and I was very, very excited about it. And I wanted to know, okay, this is a very disruptive technology. Who's doing what? So I literally went on LinkedIn and I just saw anybody that had blockchain in their title, and I would just send them a message
Mm,
going, "Hey, I'm new to blockchain. Can you give me 15 minutes? I'd love to hear what you're doing." Sometimes people respond, sometimes they don't. But the people that responded, I was like, okay. And during those things, I was able to build relationships with them.
yeah.
One calls because they were in the same space. And that all said, hey, this is perfect because now I can reach out to anyone internationally, understand what they're doing. I'm in the same sector as you. I'm trying to learn. Can you help me? And it's the biggest thing is
Yeah.
always asking for help, right? And I think we forget that a lot. Just
Yeah.
simply just say, hey, can you help me, right? And most times when you do that with people, okay, I'll help you. I'll give you 15 minutes. And those have always spun
Yeah.
into bigger and better relationships.
Wow, and so you just continue to do that to gather
Yeah.
insights from folks. That's awesome. So you are obviously engaging with so many different stakeholders around the world, and I'm curious if there's like a particular region of the world where you focus. But anyway, you engage with so many different stakeholders. I want to know where you feel you thrive as John Riley, like based on your background and your expertise, where you feel you thrive in communicating or connecting with these audiences.
I think for me, I always try to take a very authentic approach, right? It's got to be authentic. And people know when you're being fake or authentic, if you're really
Yeah.
interested or
They
caring about
do.
someone. And I think that's something I've always focused on, right? And it's building very tangible relationships because those are the ones that when you introduce them to other people, they're like, oh, you're introducing me to someone that thinks or has the same mindset. So really trying to make that connection in some way or another, no matter what country they're from, right? So it's understanding, okay,
Mhm.
let me understand about you. What's important to you? What do you focus on? And being intentional, right? With, okay, I see that, right? I'm not skilled in certain areas, but I know somebody that could help you in those areas, right? And it's really not about me. It's about let me help you. I might be able to help you, but let me connect you with somebody I think that can, right? And it's really
Yeah.
kind of doing that thing of you're looking out for them because I look at it in return of, hey, if I ask somebody for help, I want somebody to give that effort. And if they couldn't help me, of well, who can help me and directing them in
Yeah.
that same path.
Sounds like you've got a servant's heart that you wanna support and help.
Uh, it's
I'm s
good.
Go ahead, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, no, no. I think 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I got something coming past me.
Oh, you hit the oh, you've got the airplane going. It's okay. I think I know what park you're at. I'm
So
so
everybody,
curious about so many things that have nothing to do with communications. Like I'm really curious about the multilateral funding. I'm also, but I'm gonna stick to what my focus is because we
yeah,
can, I'm a mentor with the venture mentoring team,
I
as you
know.
know, and I
Yep.
work with startup founders. So I've got so many questions. But I am curious about. I think it's important also that when you're supporting leaders from other countries, there is an
Yeah.
understanding that you have to have about how they do business in their countries. I've
Oh,
worked globally for years, and so
yeah.
in order to help them navigate the U.S. market, it does require some understanding of their culture as well, right? How do you
It's
are you well
it's
traveled? Like, what? How do you ensure
well
that you?
traveled. One I was in the Marines, so travel
Oh,
that way.
thank you for your service, John. I don't know that I knew that. Did you tell me that? Thank you
Um,
for that.
no problem. And I used to live in Japan when I was a kid. So for me,
Uh-huh.
at a very, very early age of being in an international environment, kind of stuck with me, of being in a different country, of knowing what that feels like to be the foreigner, right? It's a different
Yeah,
feeling. It's a
it
very
is.
different feeling. So if you can connect with that, then you can connect with the people that are coming here of the anxiety you go through, right? Coming to
Yeah,
a new country,
yeah,
a new culture, a new way of talking, whether it's a new language. Those are the things that are challenges of having that connection allows me when I reach out to leaders in different worlds of trying to connect with them where they're at in their country. And like you said,
yeah,
understand their culture, right? How do they want to talk? How do they want to be addressed? How do they want to have the meeting? When you meet them
yeah.
at the lunch, who sits down first? All these things, these little
Mm,
tweaks, right? These little tweaks that
yeah,
play when you're doing international business. I've done it not going in there with a mindset of, well, this is how I do business. No, it's being able to
right.
adapt to that culture and where you're at, knowing when they come here, they're having to adapt to where we're at. So for me,
Yeah.
that's where I've been able to strive of making those connections, of really being authentic, and people, and they get it. Oh wow, you paid attention, you did your research, you understand how we do business here. So it goes a long way.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even just the at a very basic level, the understanding what it's like to have to live in a new country and navigate that, even just that basic understanding, like that nervousness and not,
Yeah,
I remember not knowing where the post office was in Spain or not knowing how to get to something in the UK. Like
yeah,
it automatically creates a level of empathy.
yeah.
So I'm sure that gives your customers, your clients, a level of comfort. So let's talk about challenges now, because we all have them as leaders. What do you think is one of the biggest communications challenges that you faced, and how did you handle that, John?
I think it's when you meet people, it's going in with the wrong assumptions, right? Of understanding of they're at, or they understand something that you take for granted, right? Those
Mm,
communication challenges, instead of taking the step back sometimes, and it took me a while in my career to realize and say, you know what, I need to take a step back and ask another question before I already make an assumption and give an answer to something that I think they already know about. So really, that communication.
mm,
Let me take a step back and ask them, hey, am I getting this right? Is this what you're trying to get to, right? Because we miss that, and I think, and then we talk over each other. You see it all the time on calls. People talking over each other, trying to get their point across. I'm like, oh, no. And you're like, okay, wait, like, so you're not hearing me. And so it's like, let me take a step back, going, are we on the same page? Do I understand this is what you're in? Okay, totally got that wrong. Good thing I asked, right? Because I was going to give you a different answer. I think
yeah,
that comes with leaders, and especially a lot of leaders that have been in a position for a while, of making those assumptions of you already automatically know what I'm talking about. And
yeah.
asking that question of, wait, let me correct myself, of, all right, we're on the right page because I think we're talking about this. Is that correct? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's
You know,
such a good that what you're essentially talking about, listening, right?
yeah,
Listening, meeting people where they are, not making assumptions. I think especially even with leaders dealing with their teams, sometimes there are assumptions that the team understands the direction that we're going, because why would they not? I've been talking about this. And we know that sometimes you have to say things multiple times in multiple ways through different
yeah.
platforms before it really sticks consistently. So yeah, so what is the most successful communications vehicle or platform that you use, John, that helps you communicate really effectively with the people who are important to the success of Impactify?
I think it's really, are you talking more on the lines of how I reach out to them, or the communication
Yeah, like
specifically?
where you share your thought leadership, how where you connect with clients, like what's most successful? Is it LinkedIn? Is it phone calls? Is it email? Is it like what's the thing? What's the thing that when you do it works for you consistently?
Okay. It's funny you asked that, right? Because this is, and a lot of people always ask me, hey, John, how can I help you? How can we help you like this? And I'd say in the past few years, even with Impactify, it's more lines of the relationships, the introductions, right? It's not a cold outreach. It's not a marketing campaign. For us, the authenticity of it is people that we know in our ecosystem bring the people to us. That's what's been happening in the past
Mm,
few years. And for it, then
mhm.
you know it's real. Then you know it's like, okay, somebody knows you. I'm gonna bring them here. I'm gonna bring them
Yeah.
to talk to you.
So referrals and that allow you to have those one-on-one connections with folks. Yeah. I noticed that you went mute again because of the plane.
But at the same
What were
time,
you?
but
Go ahead.
at the same time, no. I mean, I've been connected with people on LinkedIn. Like I told you, I reached out to people that way, or they have found us on there, right? So, or they see us do a post or an event we've done, or things we're doing, connecting, and saying, "Hey, I saw you guys are doing this event. Love to learn more about what you guys are doing." And that's a great thing, right? Because it's showing we're
Mhm.
bringing this ecosystem or this thought leadership in different areas, and people start going, "Okay, why is everybody talking to you? I want to know more about what you guys are doing." And that's great, right?
Mhm.
They know they're interested in us. They're curious, and that's kind of how you
Okay.
want it. So,
So events as well work well for you. Events that maybe you host and others that you attend.
yeah. So this year we happen to be supporting the international kind of immersion for Emerge. I think I shared this with you. So the international
Oh.
community come over. So we're partnership with Emerge on that, where the delegations from different countries, and we kind of give them an immersion with different thought leaders in different sectors of South Florida, from Palm
Oh,
Beach all the
that's
way.
very cool. So you're talking, just to clarify, you're talking about Emerge Americas, the conference that
Yes,
happens every April on South Beach, right?
yes,
It's a great conference.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. All right, so this is the question I ask everyone. About, if you could wave a magic wand, John,
Yep.
and have the world understand more deeply about something about you or about Impactify, what would that thing be? What would you want the world to understand most deeply about you or Impactify?
Um, that's a good question. All right. So let me think about this. All right. So when it comes to me, it's really understanding. I mean, I have a very diverse background. Like I said, from being in the Marines, from doing construction, from being in
Mm,
from getting into software in 2001, and being and then transforming into like the emerging tech space in 2017, and then being lived in across this country from California to Delaware to Idaho to Philadelphia to Connecticut to Massachusetts to Florida. I have a very
wow.
diverse background where it crosses and cross pollinates in the various conversations I have, and then also living in
Mm,
Japan, right? So it's international. So it allows me to jump in and out of a lot of conversations that most people can't, right? So,
yeah.
and I think that's when people connect with me and they kind of get like, oh, I know, but oh yeah, I live there. Oh, hey, I know somebody. Or it's weird, right? At this time, but I'm going, wow, I've done a lot of crazy stuff, or I've lived a lot of places.
You've
But
lived.
but it allows me to have this diverse background that allows me to connect at different levels for different people. It could be, Fortune 500 CEO, doesn't matter, right? So I've worked in banking, I've been a Marine, it's not a problem. It could be small businesses in different areas, and it allows me, and I love that because I feel like people feel the authenticity no matter where I'm at, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
on who wants to have a conversation, and like you just said, meet them where they're at. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
that's probably not a problem. Let's have a conversation. Oh, you're a small business owner in a small town, not a problem. Let's have a conversation, right? And it's different.
Yeah,
So I
I
think
love that.
knowing that people, if they don't know that way, that's kind of, I think, my strong suit and kind of what I bring to the table. From the Impactify side, I think it's more in the lines of we're very strategic on our aligning with companies and who we work with. So it's not a transactional mindset, right? It's more in a relational mindset. We're here to be an
Yeah,
extension of you. We're here to support you and help you walk through this, and even help you close your deals if you need to, right? So it's
yeah.
really holding. I call it the Ritz Carlton concierge approach of you're taken care of till you get to the point where like, hey, I'm good, and that's fine. But
Yeah,
that support. And there's a lot of other companies out there that do what we do are very similar and
yeah.
different business models as well. But because allowing us to have this mindset allows us to be very strategic, but also it's more quality over quantity.
I said that was my last question, but I really am curious. Do you have a favorite example of a company that you've supported that was interested in doing business in the US that maybe struggled at the beginning and then um, did, entered the market and are now, I'm just curious if there's a favorite story.
I think it has to be one we happen to be working on right now. A company called Zygo. They do digital twins, and we've been talking. They reached out to us over a year ago. They were like, "Hey, we want to get in the market. Okay, it's not ready yet." And we're like, "Hey, when you're ready, you're ready. Come talk to us." A little 6 months go by. I think we're gonna be ready. We're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. And then, like 3 months ago, they're like, "Okay, I think we're ready." We're like, "Perfect." And now we've been able to get them introduced to different city officials, stuff like that, where it's starting to pick up steam. And like the timing, right? Timing is always perfect when it needs to be.
Yeah,
So this timing of okay, and how it accelerated faster than we thought of having success. We're like,
yeah,
this is it. And then you look at hindsight 2020, you're like, yeah, maybe we should have did this a year ago. But they had to go to a point where they were comfortable getting to here, but they knew who to come to, which is an important thing,
mhm,
right? That
mhm,
for us, that
yeah,
was the important thing. They knew who to reach out to. It was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to work with you guys. And that was a great thing
yeah,
of, hey, we didn't chase you, we didn't force you and keep saying, hey, you want to do business now? Hey, you want to do business now? Hey, you want to do business? It was like when you're ready. And when they came back a year,
yeah.
it was like, okay, we're ready. And then you were able to really get them off running on the right step.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Sounds like even with the first company that, you're like, okay, you're not ready when we're here when you're ready, when you need
Yeah,
us.
and it's
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and it's hard to say. Don't get us wrong. We're all business. We
I
want
know.
money, right? Don't get us wrong. It's not
Yeah,
about
but
the money.
you also want good results. And
Yes,
so,
exactly.
yeah,
Setting
yeah.
us up for success on our end as well. It's like, hey, can we actually get them in the right places, speak with the right people? If
Right,
we could,
right.
yeah,
Man, that airspace is busy over you, John. I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
no, thank you for your time, Jennifer. I appreciate you asking me to be on this. I look forward to talking with you more as well.
Okay.